In this assignment, we're going to find some ways to not only practice our scales, but find some creative ways to do it. Most of us know that practicing scales over and over isn't always the most interesting thing to do, but if we can find some interesting ways to create some variations, then it makes practicing scales not quite so tedious. So, for this assignment, we're taking our F concert scale on the clarinet and we're going to create some variations of the scale using different rhythms. So I'm going to come down first to create variation number 1. So from here, I'm going to go to the next note of my scale, and I'm going to change that to an 8th note. And then, as we go up the scale, I'm going to make this change to a 16th. And then in the next measure, I'm going to go ahead and repeat that top note and then work my way back down. And then I'll repeat the bottom note of the scale. So I can listen to the original then I can listen to the variation I've created. Now, keep in mind that while you're working on this, that you can change the tempo, located here. So if we need to slow it down, you can always slow it down. Accuracy is always better than speed. And then our first variation. So now I'm going to come back to my edit button and think of another variation. One of the things I can do is simply turn around this 8th note to 16th pattern. So I can start with 16th notes. And again, I'm going to repeat the top note of the scale. Make that correction. So now I can go and listen to this variation. For a final variation, if you understand how to use the triplet on NoteFlight, if I click on the note and simply type the number 3 on my keyboard, it's going to convert this to a triplet figure. So I'm going to start with the quarter note, followed by an 8th note, and then again I'm going to type my number 3, change that to my quarter note. Oops, actually I got ahead of myself there. Let's change this to a quarter note first, and then I'm going to make the quarter note a triplet. There we go. Convert that to a quarter note, and then type the number 3, and then back to a triplet quarter note, note, type the number 3, change it back to a triplet quarter note. And then we're going to repeat the top note of the scale. Go to triplet, back to quarter, quarter note, type the number 3, quarter note again, quarter note, type the number 3, quarter note, and then here I could choose to make that last long note. So now I can listen to see what this variation sounds like. So now you've got 4 different ways that you can practice this F concert scale. Once you've practiced each variation, then go back and use the record feature on NoteFlight. Oops, let's go back to the edit screen. So you have your record button here. So as you set this up, you can set to record. Make sure you're starting here at the beginning, and you can record each line, one line at a time. So once you start the play button, I would encourage you to use headphones if you're using an external mic. So if you plug your headphones or your earbuds in, you'll be able to hear the scale in your ears, but you're not going to pick up the sound of the playback from NoteFlight. So now you press record. You'll get your count in before you play. And then when you record that line, you can stop. And you'll see that your track will appear over here on the side. If you make a mistake or if you want to re-record, you can always click on the trash can here and it will delete that recording. You can then come down to the second system here with variation 1, and then you can see that your cursor is here, and then again you can click the record button and record yourself. Once you've recorded each rhythmic variation of your scale, then you could submit that in the way that your teacher indicates that it needs